Alright, this video is for exponent property number 1, multiplying with the same base. There's a mathematical definition on the left. I'm going to talk about the example on the right in the box because sometimes it's easier to see how to do the exponent property when you don't have a bunch of letters. So this rule says if I have x to the 4th times x to the 13th times x, what happens? Well, we call this multiplying with the same base because every term here has an x as its base of the exponent. Now what we do, the rule says, according to what it has on the left here, that if you have the same base like a, you end up adding the exponents. Well, I have a 4, a 3, and there's an invisible 1 there. When I add 4 plus 3 plus 1, that is 18. So it's going to be x to the 18th power. That's how this is going to go. So let's go through a couple of practice problems here. Number 1 is 4 times z to the 5th times 9z to the 12th. Now, the base of the exponent is z, right? They both have a z. We have to deal with the numbers first. So I'm going to multiply the numbers 4 and 9 to get 36, and then deal with the z's. All right, we have a z here, and the exponents 5 and 12 add to 17. Same thing in number 2. I'm going to deal with the numbers, the coefficients first. I have a 5, an invisible 1, and a 3, which would multiply to be 15. And then when I add the exponents of the base of x, I have 4 plus 9 plus 1, which is x to the 14. Number 3, I have numbers that I'm going to deal with first. 2 times 9 times 3. Well, 2 times 3 is 6, and 6 times 9 is 54. Now let's talk about the variables here. I have a's, so I have a to the first and a squared. Those 1 and 2 add to the a to the third. And then I have b to the 4th. There's nothing to combine b to the 4th with, so that's going to stay the same. Right, number 4. Again, start with the numbers. Negative 4 times 7 times 2. Negative 4 times 7 is negative 28 times 2 is negative 56. Let's look at the c's next. I have c to the 3rd and c to the negative 2. Don't worry about the negatives. We'll get there in property 7. 3 plus negative 2 is just 1. So you can write c to the 1st, or you could just write c. It doesn't matter if you put the 1 there or not. And then d, there's only one of them, so it's d squared. All right, number 5. Deal with the 4 and the 3, which multiplies to 12. A here, I have a squared and a to the 9th. Those add to the a to the 11th. And for b, I have b to the 7th and b to the 1st, which is b to the 8th. Last problem here has some fractions. I have, let's do the numbers. 2 and 5 multiply to be 10. Now, I have to add, I have all these b's. I have 1/2 plus 1/3 plus 1/6 plus a negative 3. Ooh, well, you could, I would just use the calculator. You can use the calculator on this. Or you can find a common denominator, but no need to right now. Those fractions actually all add up to be 1. So you have 1 minus 3, which is negative 2. And that's your final answer. All right, that's the video for property 1.